Hello and a warm welcome to the special program on Federal Capital Beat. I'm Neelu Vyas. Parliament's budget session today was adjourned for the second straight day, where the opposition parties demanded a joint parliamentary probe over the Hindenburg-Adani report, whereas the Treasury benches, that is a ruling side, insisted on Rahul Gandhi apologizing over the remarks he made during his Cambridge University trip. Now, is the government really loving this stalemate? Is the big question. And what are the reasons for it? Because continuously it seems, or seemingly rather, the government wants the focus to remain on the Gandhi family, the focus to remain on Rahul Gandhi, so that it doesn't have to debate, discuss, or issue any remarks, so to say, on the Adani Hindenburg report. So that's the question. We'll try and find answers to it. I'm joined by a very special panel with all senior journalists and editors. And let me introduce all of them to you one by one. We have Javed Ansari. So thank you so much for joining. Sandeep Phukal, Aurangzeb Naqshbandi, and Vinod Shukla. He's also a veteran journalist and who is closely associated with BJP and the RSS. Thank you, all of you. And let me begin the first question with Vinod Shukla. What I'm not able to understand, Vinod, is that why is the government, I mean, we rarely see the Treasury benches trying to create a deadlock. It's the job of the Treasury benches to see that the parliament functions smoothly. And here we find a government which is trying to create this deadlock. What is the reason?
No, what you are calling a deadlock is a strategy for the BJP government. Because they don't want to discuss what Congress wants to discuss in the parliament. On the contrary, they are putting Rahul Gandhi in dock on the issue of what he spoken in foreign land. So basically, they are trying to put it in this way that a leader of opposition or a leader from opposition party is speaking something against democracy, something against India, and that is going to be the strategy for the next election. This is the core or underlining thing. And this is what is the new strategy of the BJP. That's why they are aggressive in the parliament. So they are very clever in charting out their strategy, and Congress always is unable to understand their strategy, and they are deceived. Yes, Neelu.
So you are saying that BJP in a way has outsmarted Congress by raising their pitch on Rahul Gandhi and seeking his apology.
Yeah, of course. This is the strategy, and they will go with this strategy across the country. They will go with this strategy in Karnataka and other states, and also in for 2024 Lok Sabha elections. So they are working on that, and they have already started this from the parliament. And you must understand that Congress is unable to fathom or unable to understand the strategy. That's why this has started from the very first day of the parliament session after the recess.
Right. Okay, let me come to Javed Ansari. Mr. Ansari, I would really like to understand that despite Congress having its script right, but not able to communicate perhaps properly, why are they going horribly wrong? Despite all the issues they have, but they aren't able to communicate things properly. And then, BJP seems to be walking away with the entire script, despite the fact that, they have so much to answer on the Hindenburg report.
So look, you appear to have already decided that the BJP is walking away with the honors as far as this debate is concerned, that the BJP strategy, I agree with Mr. Shukla that this is the BJP strategy. This twofold. One is to deflect attention and prevent a debate on Adani and other issues. And two is the larger strategy is that they will say, look, Hindenburg, BBC, all these foreign agencies were criticizing India. Now, Mr. Rahul Gandhi goes abroad and he also joins the chorus. So they are acting in tandem with Rahul Gandhi, or Rahul Gandhi is acting in tandem with them. But whether people will buy this or not, the jury is still out. So let's hold our horses. I won't pronounce a verdict on this. Yes, the BJP, I am willing to concede that the BJP has a better electoral machinery. The BJP has enough friends and cheerleaders in the media and outside to orchestrate its point of view. But imagine, also don't forget that it's not just the Congress, but every other party. And for now, barring the TMC, they are acting in unison on this issue. So it'll be BJP against all of them, and that's something that shouldn't be ignored. The other is on the merit of whether or not the Congress party or Mr. Rahul Gandhi should have said what he said outside the country. As a matter of principle, I do believe that India's politicians should refrain from washing dirty linen in public, especially abroad, only when they are abroad. There was this age-old understanding amongst leaders from the Prime Minister downwards that nobody on their trip abroad would talk of domestic politics. I've traveled with umpteen Prime Ministers, and I am a witness to the fact that they have pointedly refused to answer questions pertaining to domestic politics.
Right.
Now, and is Rahul Gandhi alone to blame? Is Rahul Gandhi the first one to break this convention? I don't think so. The Honorable Prime Minister of India, on more than one occasion, close to half a dozen occasions, has blatantly flouted this convention. So if it's what is good for the goose is good for the gander. If he says so, if he can break this convention, so can others. And there is nothing anti-national. And Vasebi, I don't believe in this business. What you say here, it will provide cannon fodder to foreign governments and foreigners. Now, in the age of internet and social media and television, even if you sneeze here, the world knows. We know what is happening in Pakistan or in Ukraine or wherever. So the same applies to people who are interested in India affairs. No matter which corner of the globe they sit, they are aware of what is happening.
Right.
Lok Sabha and Raj Sabha proceedings are telecast live. If mics are put or shut off or not, all those who are interested, watch it. I spent a couple of months abroad. I used to get up at 2 o'clock and not at time, because 2 o'clock at night, because of the time difference, and watch it. So yes, people should not, political parties should refrain from talking of domestic politics while abroad. It doesn't show us in good light. But
Right.
This principle has to be applied uniformly. We can't be selective. And let's hold our horses for the moment on whether or not. Let's not pass a verdict on who has won this debate, because
Right.
a lot of what happens in Parliament doesn't really reflect popular will.
Right. Okay, Sandeep, I'll come to you now. Now, there are two issues. One is the Adani Hindenburg issue, over which Supreme Court has already announced a panel. Of course, they will look into the issues and the larger issues also. And the other issue is the Rahul Gandhi's speech in Cambridge. Now, the jury, of course, is out on both. Whether a JPC should be formed, should not be formed. Of course, opposition is right when it raises its demand, because it was the same BJP when it was in the opposition. I was just trying to read up the statements of late Arun Jaitley in 2012, when he said that, obstruction, when you create a parliamentary disruption, it is for the greater good of the democracy. Then similarly, in 2012, Sushma Swaraj also said that not allowing parliament to function is another form of democracy during the coal block scam when it emerged. That is what she said. Now the same things don't seem to apply to BJP. So how do we really say that who is correct right now, the opposition or the government?
Well, I think depending on where you stand and what is your vantage point, both will make similar arguments. Let's not forget, when BJP was disrupting the House, Congress was leading the coalition of UPA. They were saying that people's money is being wasted, and let us sit across the table, let the House function. And at that point of time, the opposition parties used to say that it is the government's business to run the House. These are our demands, and the government will have to find a way out and meet us meet our demands so that the House can function. In any case, I completely agree with Mr. Shukla. To me, it looks like a fairly well thought out strategy that it's the government of the day right now who may not want, I mean, see, it is in nobody's case that they will stop the passage of the finance bill.
Right.
There are some fixed timelines, and the bill has to be, for the money to be sent to the Consolidated Fund of India, the budget, the finance bill has to be passed before 31st of March. The government has to be empowered so that it can spend. So there is not going to be, I don't see that there will be a crisis that, Parliament remains paralyzed and the finance bill, even if even if it means passing the finance bill, which will be a very unhealthy practice, but even if it means passing the finance bill in the din, they will do so. But I think the fact that they decided on day one that they raised the issue of Rahul Gandhi's speech abroad, they demanded an apology. In both the houses, Rajnath Singh is the deputy leader, and in the Rajya Sabha, Piyush Goyal is leader of the house. No short than the leader, no less than the leader of the house and deputy leader in Lok Sabha raised this issue demand. It's not very common to see that question hour is stopped and the chair allows senior ministers to speak on issues that is not really, immediate or urgent. So I think it's a given strategy that the government had come prepared, that they will force the Congress on this. And now the Congress will have to fight back in terms of, now they have already said they have tried to dig up, as Javedji was pointing out, dig up previous statements of Prime Minister Modi when he addressed the Indian diaspora in China, in South Korea and other places, where he did talk about the fact that how things were different earlier. Earlier it was Scam India, now they are focusing on Skill India. There is a statement, a placard was shown today in the Lok Sabha earlier in the day when we were there, where one of the placards quoted the Prime Minister as having said that earlier people thought that they had committed a sin to be born as Indians. But all that has changed in the past few years. Obviously, these are not great things to say, even if you are telling them before your own people, that is the Indian diaspora. This is certainly not great things to say on foreign soil. And, there used to be a convention that you don't really take domestic politics, and there should be some sort of agreement between political parties. But that hasn't happened. So now that that hasn't happened, and now that there is a divide, I see two things very clearly. This is going to be used as an electoral weapon by the BJP, saying that, look, it's not just foreign agencies or, not just George Soros or Open Society Forum or the BBC. It's also our own leader, as in, the opposition leader, who's going out of the country and bad-mouthing the government, or Indian democracy. They haven't said the government, mind you. Mr. Rajnath Singh's statement said that he has insulted Indian democracy. So, Bharat ko badnaam kiya, Loktantra ko badnaam kiya. So that's one part. So this is going to be there for the long haul. It's not like about only this session. It's quite clear that the BJP will take this further. And second, the Congress has to now fight back, right? I mean, they don't have an option. They can't simply say that, okay, let's apologize and move on. So what is their strategy? So their counter strategy is to keep focusing on Adani. The other thing that they will raise or will be raising or has already raised is the use of agencies against opposition leaders, coming in the backdrop of raids on Lalu Yadav's family, K. Kavita's questioning by the ED, and so on. So, an arrest of Manish Sisodia. So these issues will form a common glue between opposition parties, but they don't want to raise this issue of agencies, or they don't want to bring it to the fore, because they want to keep that separately. They want to focus on Adani, is what my understanding is, and has been decided today in the opposition meeting.
Right. But one more question to you, Sandeep, before I come to Aurangzeb. But do you feel that somewhere there is a feeling within the opposition parties that the government is trying to run away from any kind of mentioning about the Adani Hindenburg report? Does it give that impression?
Yeah, this has been what the Congress has been repeatedly saying, that they have raised this issue of Rahul Gandhi because they do not want to answer. And Congress has been running some campaign called Hum Adani Ke Hai Kaun, where every day Jairam Ramesh poses 3 questions. Quite clearly, I mean, whatever Rahul Gandhi said, those it's not part of Parliament record now. That has been expunged. So yes, I mean, Congress has been saying this, that they do not want to discuss. Though, when you talk to government managers, like this morning, I was talking to one of the ministers, and a minister of state, and he said that, look, we are not running away. There was in the question hour, there was an unstart question on investigation by Department of Revenue Intelligence, DRI, against the Adani Group on coal imports from Indonesia. So the argument was that if the House had functioned, and if this question had come up in the question hour, the opposition could have asked for supplementary questions and could have raised this issue on the floor of the House.
Right.
So that was part of the agenda. Adani Group was mentioned in the question by name. So, I mean, depending on who you speak to, they give you a different picture. But yes, the Congress and the opposition said that government does not want to answer questions on Adani, and that's why they are coming up with these diversionary tactics.
Right. Okay. Aurangzeb, there is another aspect to this whole story about Rahul's speech in Cambridge, because I was speaking to a few people in London who attended Rahul Gandhi's program where he interacted with the journalists and everyone. So few people said that actually BJP has tried to distort this whole issue. He did say that, this is our internal issue and we will resolve it ourselves. But then again, this entire issue has been distorted. But at the same time, Congress has not been able to put across this point very well across the media. Now, is Congress really to be blamed, or the BJP at this point of time?
So for the last many years now, we have seen Congress has not been able to put through or put before the people its point of view effectively.
Right.
As effectively as the BJP has done, if you see last few years. One, there is a communication problem with the Congress, whether it was distorted or not, whatever. This right now they can be seen as if they are on the back foot. If they stand by their leader, they should say, yes, this is what he has said. And we stand by whatever he has said. Whenever you see, whenever in the past also, whenever he said something like this in abroad or in the country, the Congress has always sounded defensive. So, somewhere they are not convinced what he has said and whether what he has said is right or not. So that element you will see it's happening for the last many years now. What Sandeep was saying, that they will use it as a political weapon, the BJP, of course they will use. They have been given a handle, whether distorted or not distorted, but the Congress has not come up with a very strong, effective counter narrative. Okay, this is what is happening. They are talking about Adani. That is fine. It can be a diversionary tactics. Obviously, the political parties do it, but there has not been a strong that yes, this is what is happening. This is how democracy has been trampled, or whatever has happened. They don't have anything, so they are just going on and not defending their leader. I haven't seen anyone saying yes, what he said was right. I didn't read any.
Aurangzeb, if you look at, and when we talk about the communication part of Congress, during the Bharat Jodo Yatra, they did effectively communicate about whatever issues Rahul Gandhi was talking about.
Rahul Gandhi, that if you see, Rahul Gandhi handled that very well. But these communication managers, if you see, they, what did you? You must have heard what Digvijay Singh said. In Kashmir, he talked about surgical strike. He had effectively he had done a surgical strike on the Congress itself. So Rahul Gandhi himself had to come forward and said, this is his, but this is ridiculous. And this is his own statement. This is not, the party doesn't have anything to do with that. So there is a communication problem. And we have been seeing it for last many years now. No, they have not been able to communicate properly. They have not been able to give a counter narrative. Now, coming to opposition, I would like to say that if you say Congress is the biggest stumbling block in the opposition unity, when when Manish Sisodia is arrested, they hail it, that this is the big step. When some of their leaders are being called for investigation or someone, they say we are being targeted. So you cannot shift goalposts, every now and
You
then.
mean that Congress is...
Aurangzeb, what was the Aam Admi Party's stand when the Gandhis were being interrogated?
No, I'm saying, see, Congress has to be a large, it has to show large-hearted. It is the biggest political party. Aam Admi, I'm just saying, see what happened in Telangana. The Telangana KCR's daughter came forward and said that, they should show that big brotherly attitude and, take everybody along. See, Nitish Kumar said...
No, but Aurangzeb,
I'll just give me one.
Right.
Nitish Kumar in Bihar said that, the Congress has to take a lead and bring all the parties on board. So what was the reply of the government? That we should not be given lessons on our role. So this is how you respond to your ally.
No, you were mentioning about Kavita Rao and KCR's party. I did interview Kavita Rao a few days ago, and where she said that, what is the harm if the regional parties are also wanting to spread their wings nationally? And if Congress doesn't come, it's okay. That's exactly on record what she said. Right. So, but even if you have to form an alliance, you have to be at a pole position, and maybe the Congress is right.
Absolutely. You're right. You have to be at them. And then, in states, okay, fine, you are fighting TR, but national level, make some understanding. You have to, when you are ready to accommodate Nitish Kumar, who fought against you, who ensured that, the coalition government falls, you are still going with him. So what is the compulsion? So there are certain compulsions. So what I am saying is that on one side, you are talking about that opposition larger. Yesterday also, Sonia Gandhi talked about this broader opposition unity. But who has to take that first step? Who has to take that initial step? Because it's a only pan-India party after BJP. So it has to do it. So, but we are not seeing any such step from the Congress so far.
Right. Okay. Now let me come to you, Vinod. I mean, apart from the fact that the semblance of opposition unity is not seen anywhere, and BJP seems to be walking away with this advantage, that just because opposition is not able to put across its things, its narrative, its leaders, so maybe BJP is taking advantage of that fact. And of course, BJP is not to be blamed for that. But then the questions about the propriety, about the issues which are burning, how can BJP walk away from that? I mean, BJP needs to answer on price rise, on inflation, on Adani. Doesn't BJP realize that? Or is it just thinking that, riding on the high horse of the IT cell and the verbose spokespersons it has is really going to win any battle which comes across its way?
See, Nilu, if there are issues like inflation, unemployment, and many such issues, is it the responsibility of the BJP to raise? Is it the opposition? And opposition has to take it to the people to such a level that they agree that this is an issue. But opposition miserably failed to do so. BJP will not do that. There is inflation and all. And the question that you are asking,
but BJP does have other methods. It's using the enforcement agencies. It's silencing the opposition parties in as many ways as it can. Is it not doing that?
No. Let's accept that BJP is arm twisting opposition, but BJP was also in the opposition. What did they do to come to power? You have to throttle.
But does the opposition have the same media? When you're talking about the UPA tenure, when BJP was in the opposition, it's the same media which allowed BJP's growth, and that's how it has come in power. Do we have that same kind of media which was there in 2008?
So if you are saying that BJP is so competent that it manages media, it manages government, it manages people, it manages social media, and opposition is so incompetent that it cannot question government, then you deserve to be remain permanently in the opposition. It is opposition's responsibility to question government, and not only question, it must take such issues to the people that they are convinced. But you must accept, everybody should accept that the opposition has miserably failed. Now,
Committee.
you're talking about allies. Uh, Everybody is trying. Aurangzeb said that Congress is not forthcoming to take other oppositions along to counter BJP. But BRS is not ready to come. Mamta is not ready to come with the Congress. On the contrary, let me tell you, BJP is managing even those parties which had left them. For instance, BJP is trying to bring TDP together. They are in touch with Jayant Chaudhary and many others. So they are strategically working on how to win elections. And on the other hand, opposition is just
But BJP seems to be working strategically to win elections and also to strategically annihilate opposition. The regional leaders, the mainstream opposition parties. Don't you think the BJP is also doing that?
no. But if BJP is doing something wrong, suppose NIA, ED, every institution, every agency is being misused. Why the opposition is failed to take that to the people, and people are unable to accept that? This is the issue, na? So you cannot say that. That's why I'm saying, if opposition is unable to take this to people, they must remain to opposition as much as possible. They must work. They have failed miserably, and it is them who have to correct themselves, not the BJP. This is what I want to say.
Okay, Javed, but I want to come to you that if the opposition has failed miserably to communicate the wrongdoings of the present government and exposing the government, if they have failed, so what does it mean that BJP will continue to steamroll its methodology, the way it's running? And, why would it not face allegations, like that it's an authoritarian regime, it can get away with whatever it wants to do? So are we going to see those kind of days ahead? Because opposition is unable to do it. Opposition is not able to communicate those issues properly.
Look, yes, opposition is unable to do it, but that is not that way justify what the BJP is doing. And it cannot cloud or shut our eyes to what the BJP is doing. As journalists, we need to be aware, and we need to be conscious, and we need, as best possible, to be able to raise those issues as much as we can. And I emphasize as much as we can, because there is not much that we can do in today's environment. Everything has a consequence, and the consequences these days are very dire. I've spent close to 40 years in this profession. I have never been through something like this. Emergency was before my time, but I have never been through, as a journalist, stuff that we are seeing now. And whether this will change, this will only change when people become conscious enough, and people start voting against the BJP. Till that time it happens, unfortunately, we'll have to suffer. And yes, there is merit in what Mr. Shukla was saying, that the opposition, it's not the BJP's job or the government's job to make things easier for the opposition. It's the opposition, even within the constraints. The opposition has to carve out its space. If it means bending, if it means stooping to conquer, bringing all opposition parties together, do it. Otherwise, the opposition will suffer, and large sections of Indian society will continue to suffer. So the opposition, nobody is going to help the opposition. The opposition has to help itself, whether that means doing a better job of its communication strategy, doing a better job of its electoral strategy, bringing people together, giving people enough confidence Every second person you meet on the street or wherever you go to has a grouse, So why aren't people in the opposition able to tap into this? Why aren't people the opposition able to channelize this? Obviously, there is something lacking somewhere. Yes,
Right.
there are a lot of things. It can be explained. The kind of resources at the BJP's disposal, the blatant misuse of official machinery, the manner in which those who should put their foot down, look at things. By this, I mean the Election Commission. But then, this is a fact of life. You can't wish this away. You need to find a way around it.
Right.
And so far, the opposition has been unable to do so.
Right. My last bit to Sandeep now, and then I'll come to Aurangzeb. But Sandeep, where is the opposition really going wrong? I mean, it's not able to fathom where the problem is. Or is there no hunger left to, form some kind of an alliance which can really counter BJP? Really not able to understand.
Well, let me start by saying that the old adage that nothing succeeds like success. At the moment, the BJP is successful. So that is why everything that they do seems like a masterstroke.
Right.
But let's not forget that soon after 2014, one Mr. Kejriwal had defeated the BJP in Delhi. They have lost elections. Look around. There are so many states where they don't rule. Be it Jharkhand, be it, in Maharashtra also there was now they are ruling there, but again, they had lost their ally in Uddhav
Himachal is the recent case.
Sorry?
Himachal is the recent case.
Yes, exactly. So Himachal, they have lost. They have lost elections. They have not been able to make a mark in Andhra Pradesh. They have not. They have improved in Telangana, but they are far away from forming a government there. They have focused so much down south in Kerala, but they are not, nowhere near, to forming a government there. So West Bengal, just recall the West Bengal election, what the kind of pitch that we had seen,
Right.
unprecedented in terms of fight. But, they lost. And they lost quite comprehensively, I would say. So it's not as if that BJP is invincible. I would imagine the problem at the central level is that there is nobody, elections have become presidential. There is nobody who has the stature and the heft to take on Mr. Modi. So unless you have an alternative where people of India can think that, okay, Modi ji ko humne 3 term de diya, 2 term de diya, now we can try out this particular leader. Until such time, it is going to be difficult. Do we have a leader? I'm sure. They can. The Congress keeps arguing that what happened in 2004, they did not have a face in front of Mr. Vajpayee. Yet they won the election, and then it was post-election that Manmohan Singh emerged as the leader. So something like that can happen.
Right.
There, I would think I disagree. I think Mr. Modi is larger than life. So was Mr. Vajpayee. We've covered his tenure as well. But I think it's a completely different ballgame now.
Right.
So you will need somebody who can, who can be propped up as somebody who can take on Mr. Modi. The problem in the opposition camp is that there are far too many, from Mamata Banerjee to K. Chandrasekhar Rao. Congress is not willing to let go Rahul Gandhi. There are so many, So the point is that it's a problem of plenty, but none, I would say, who can right now match up to the narrative that has been built around Mr. Modi.
Right. My last 2 questions to Aurangzeb. First is, of course, that, in the absence of a complete unity of the opposition, the first question is that does 2024 then look like an easy walkover for BJP? And then the second question is that does BJP really face some problems internally? Because there are reports that as to how this RSS camp is also divided into 2 parts. One which is wanting to prop up Yogi Adityanath and one which is wanting to prop up Modi. So will BJP face an internal challenge? Given the time left for the general elections, can that kind of a situation arise? I know it's a little hypothetical question for now, but yes, over to you.
Any problem happening till Mr. Modi is there.
Okay.
most popular leader and he remains the tallest leader in BJP. There is no dispute over that. There might be some kind of a friction, second rung, third rung, or fourth rung, but as far as he is there, there is no dispute over that.
Right.
Coming to 2024, it's too far still. We have Karnataka elections now, and you never know what will happen there. As of now, the BJP is on a weak wicket there because of so many allegations of corruption and other things.
So you mean that hope is still there for the opposition?
Of course, it has to be there. Now, coming to what Vinod said, that BJP is good at making these coalitions, alliances. That I don't agree with that. What happened to TDP? TDP was the one which brought no confidence motion against the BJP last election, and TDP was as a very trusted alliance partner of BJP. Then Shiv Sena, it broke Shiv Sena into two parts, right? Then Akali Dal, Nitish Kumar. So all of that. So it's not that they have also their weak points are also there. We also know that in 2019, had Pulwama not happened, I don't know what would have been the results. No, it's just a guess. Maybe things might have been different. So it's 2024 is too far. Yes, what.
You feel that BJP might pull out another rabbit out of its hat, supposing if the opposition gets together and is successful in creating some kind of a narrative?
So then, no, if the opposition comes together, then it becomes very difficult for BJP.
Okay.
Then go seat by seat, then 32% and 60%, then a lot of difference happens. What Vinod said that the Congress is not, I said the Congress is the biggest stumbling block because see, there were efforts from Mamata Banerjee initially, which then everybody saw, then they went to Goa and everything happened, but there were attempts from different political parties. Even now, what Neelu said, Kavita has on record said that yes,
right,
Congress should act as a big brother now. So what the Congress has, the moment you come to leadership issue, they will say nothing doing. Rahul Gandhi is the leader; he is going to be the prime minister. We have to realize that there are problems within that. With that, the people of India haven't yet accepted Rahul Gandhi as their prime minister.
Right.
So they should also give up that. What Sandeep said, that if they are willing to do that and take everybody along, then it could be a different game.
Absolutely. So hope still left for the opposition parties. But for now, it looks like it's going to be an easy victory for BJP. But yes, a lot of it will depend on what the results in the forthcoming elections, the state elections will be. It was wonderful having all of you on the program. It was really an enriching discussion. Thank you so much, Sandeep, Vinod and Aurangzeb. A pleasure having all of you on the program. And one appeal to the viewers who will be watching this discussion, subscribe to our channel, send us your feedback, and stay tuned to the Federal. Thank you.
Subscribe to the Federal's YouTube page for more interesting updates.